Welcome to Beyond the Wall. This is my life before, during, and after prison. I spent 2.5 decades and now I'm been inserted back into the world, and I'm just taking you through the journey and how I'm adjusting and the things that's going on with my life. It's been an awesome experience. Being away from the environment that's such nerve wracking, full of hostility and violence and that. So coming from there to meeting my nieces and nephew, my family, it's it's such a wonderful and welcoming change. I told my wife before I came out that my objective was to be the favorite uncle. And I think on my way to achieving that, at least with some of my nieces and nephews. You know, they all have such different personalities, and it's wonderful. It's I've been waiting for this for so long to meet them. I've only been able to watch them through pictures from infancy to their age now, and it was hard for me to imagine that I'd ever get a chance to hang out with them, to get to know them, to spoil them, and yeah, we always talk about being overwhelmed with the reality and the way the world is. I get overwhelmed with that. Just being able to enjoy my time with them, getting to know them, and just seeing how beautiful they are. What's overwhelming to me is the different range of emotions that I'm able to feel now, as opposed to all the negative emotions that I've been holding on to in there, really just for the purpose of keeping myself alive. You don't never get a break from the environment. You're there 24 hours a day, all day long for freaking 2.5 decades. So you don't get a break. You don't get to decompress. So yeah, I'm relieved. I'm I'm free, but emotionally free. It's not like I've been waiting to cry for 20 years or something like that, or to be, super sensitive or anything. These feelings, these emotions always come from left field because I never expect that I would be affected this way. Like just seeing my niece and my nephew or my family, and it's just overwhelming, brings tears to my eyes, and I just sometimes I get frustrated because I'm like, why am I sitting over here crying like a little weenie, you know? And it just, but I'm not embarrassed about it or anything. It's just surprising and shock, and I'm learning to deal with it. I'm learning how to, not really, because just like right now, when I just started talking about them, I got overwhelmed with emotions. So it's whatever. I mean, people already know I'm not filtered, and I don't want to be. I don't care, you know. But I also don't want to be walking around with snotty nose and tissues and stuff all day long either. Mm-hmm. But yeah, it's been the last month. It's had its up and down. I've had my moments and stuff, but for the most part, it's been all love and it's been wonderful. You know, It's such a cool feeling that I can wake up at any time of the night, go to the fridge, get me a cup of orange juice. I can get up 4:30 in the morning and not have to be standing and pacing in my cell waiting for the 6 o'clock for them to open the door, if they open the door, because there's no telling what's going on. The guy might be lazy, he don't want to open the door today, or they might have a little function for the staff, so they're gonna keep us locked down so they can all go eat in the chow hall and sing happy birthday to somebody while we're locked down in our cell. You know, I made a couple of videos of me cooking, or posted a couple of videos of me cooking breakfast and stuff, and people comment like, it's nice to see that you're enjoying the things that people take for granted. And I don't know if people take those type of things for granted, but I sure don't. Like, we were driving around the other night, and I was commenting to my wife that the city looks so beautiful because I can't be out at night. I haven't been able to see the stars for over 2 decades, and let alone street lights and people driving around or people walking around. So all these things is just, it's really nice, and I really enjoy that. Last night we went to Dave and Buster's, and I'm playing video games, but I didn't know that they had like a token ticket thing that you can win prizes, because I would have like tried a little harder on my games, but it was just fun to move around, have a freaking burger and fries that was made for the purpose of tasting good, because everything we eat in prison, you're cooking for 1,500, 2,000 individuals, so there's not a love that goes into those food, and taste is not a requirement. It's just they want you to meet. They want to, all you're ensuring is they ensure that you meet the protein and calorie requirements to keep you alive and push you on. Sometimes it surprises you that it tastes decent, but it's nothing like the food out here. The food out here is, makes you salivate at the mouth. Like, the toast is extra toasty, the butter is extra buttery, and yeah, it shocks your senses, and you're just like, wow, I didn't know like food can taste this good. Like being in there put me off on American food, because that's why I've always associated American food with like prison food, because that's all I've been eating and accustomed to for the last 2 decades. So when I come out, every time I see a menu with potatoes or mashed potatoes, I'm like, I don't want it, I don't want it, I don't want it. But, my wife had something with, I don't think I'm ever gonna like horseradish. Like, it's just I don't understand why people want to put that in food or dip anything in it, you know. But that's just me. But I don't know anything. So when I go, I just ask my wife, just order something for me. And everything she's ordered, everything I've eaten has been delicious. So it's overwhelming that I'm in the environment that I am now. Because like I said, when you haven't even been 26 years old yet, and you receive a 26-year sentence, a lot of us, I'm pretty sure, right now, can't even imagine what your life is going to be like 5 years from now, or where it's going to be just next year or even next week. Let alone imagine, project yourself 10 years into the future or 2 decades into the future. When I was sent in prison, I fully believed that I was never coming home. that I was either going to get killed or I was going to end up killing somebody and catching more time. And there's a few times that I could have got caught new cases, but through the grace of God, they just kept me in the shoe for 6, 7, 8 months, shipped me out to another prison. You know, there's no guarantee that you come home when you get sentenced to prison. I don't care if you sentenced to 2 years, 5 years, or life. You know, if you've been listening to some of my podcasts, I mean, not podcasts, but program, there's people that's 2 weeks to the house and I'm not making it because of whatever reason. There's people that only been sentenced to 2 years, 5 years, and they got there and got killed or hung themselves. So I never planned for this, for coming home. So the way I lived my life for the last 20 something years was just day by day, trying to get through it by any means necessary, doing whatever comes my way. I mean, but I'm so happy and so fortunate and so blessed that I've had the support that I've had from my wife, to my family, to my friends. You know, every time I got myself in a situation, I was able to call home. And everyone that I ever called always came through for me. And yeah, I'm so grateful for that. But a lot of people that's in there don't have the support system that I have. And it's rough. You know, time is not easy to do. You know, a lot of people just think that we're just in there watching TV, playing video games. There's no video games where I'm at anyway. But watching TV, hanging out, hee hee ha ha. Like, they have no clue. You know, I seen on a comic skit once, comedian skit once, where they said, "What is it like being in prison?" And the guy said, "Well, jump in the closet, close the door, and stay there for 20 years. And then you start to have an idea of what it's like." I lived in this freaking bathroom for 2.5 decades. You sleep, you shit, you eat, you piss, you work out, everything in a little 8x12. And an 8x12 is lucky because a lot of the old prisons, they're not 8x12, they're 6x9. And 6x9, I'm pretty sure it's a lot smaller than a lot of you guys' bathroom and closet. You know. But imagine just being in there day in, day out for decades and decades. There's no way that you can be in that environment and not have it psychologically, screw you up. You know, like I told you in the last episode, was I feel that, if I admit to being overwhelmed or suffering from certain type of PTSD, that is weak. But I'm realizing that, by denying, I'm not saying I'm suffering from any of these things. I still have a hard time thinking that I do suffer from these things. But I can just see through the course of my day interacting with people, like, I have habits and tics that I'm not conscious of. When I go, the last place I was at, Florence, Colorado, they didn't have no washer and dryer. You know, twice a week you put your freaking clothes on a loop and send it to laundry. So I became a habit of like washing my boxers while I'm showering. Like there's no rest. I'm always, you know, even when I'm in the shower, I'm working. You know, washing my boxers every time I shower. You know, so here I wasn't conscious of that. You know, I jump in the shower, my boxers, and my wife's like, "Give me those boxers. You don't need to wash them." And I'm not thinking that I'm not even conscious that I've been washing my boxers in the shower. It's just been such a habit. You know, I have like OCD, I guess. Like sometimes I would say COD, and but like I'm always like I can't like when I go like when I cook and stuff. I'm doing the dishes as I'm cooking. I'm washing. You know, as soon as the pan is done, it's hot, so I'm running cold water to cool it down so I can wash it and get it out the sink. When I brush my teeth, I spit in the toilet instead of in the sink. I just, you know, because these are things that you can't spit in the sink in your cell. People's gonna flip out. Your cell is gonna flip out. Everybody's like so germophobic. I don't know, you know, but that's what we've been doing. You know, you brush your teeth and you spit in the toilet because you know you do a lot of things in the sink. You cook, yeah, you know, yeah, it's unsanitary. You know, I've taken a habit. You know, like when I when I urinate, I sit down on a toilet to urinate because in there, if you're standing up pissing, no matter if you get it all in the bowl, it's gonna splash. You know, and it's just unsanitary. So I find myself doing that still. You know, sometimes unless I'm using a urinal, you know, it would be look really funny if I was trying to sit down using a urinal. But you know, these are just things that I still have a habit of doing that I'm not conscious of trying to break. And one of them is eating really fast. You know, but being able to go out with my wife to different restaurants and stuff, and we're engaging in conversation, and that helps it just helps slow the process down until the food gets there. You know, because it's not even. You know, when you're in a chow hall, you're in line, you get your food, you eat, and you're done. Here, you go, you make an order, and it's 20, 30 minutes before your food comes out. But you know, when it gets there, I polish my plate before my wife is halfway through her food, and I might still have some food left on my plate just because I noticed that like all my food is almost gone and my wife is only halfway through her food, so I stop, and I'm just. But these are just things that I'm dealing with, and next week on Monday I have a session with my therapist, and like my last session with her, I wasn't really honest with her. I wasn't lying to her, but I just don't know how to answer her questions because I don't know about anxiety. I don't know about stress. I don't know about coping mechanism and stuff because it is just part of my life that I live and deal with. So I'm not thinking that it's something out of the ordinary. But now being around outside of just being my family, interacting with the work crew, people as I'm moving around, it's just, yeah, it's different. It's not, and I noticed certain things. So I'm not sure. I'm pretty sure that I suffer from some type of PTSD because it's not logical that someone in my situations that spend a lot of time is not gonna suffer from them. Like people that's been watching my broadcast, my little episodes and stuff, they comment on my, on my page, and they're like, "Hey, I've been home 5, 6 years, and I'm still having a hard time adjusting to the real world." Some people, they, they leave a comment or whatever, and they're like, "Yeah, I only did like 3 years or whatnot, but I still find myself not wanting to go out and interact with people. I find myself locking myself in a room, you know, isolating myself, and I don't know, because like I said, I have a very strong support system with my wife, my family, and the people around me that a lot of other people don't have. But through the course of these programs, I I want to be the voice for those that maybe are not able to sit here and talk for 20 minutes like me. I don't know where I picked up that talent. I'm pretty sure you guys like, damn, this guy never shuts up. But the what helps me, what motivates me, and gets me to keep going is that I have these positive comments that people that aren't able to speak out, that are able to do the things that I'm doing right now. But I really feel that I am speaking for them, because it's an adjustment, man. And I'm sure as we continue and I get exposed to more of my environment, that some of the things might surface. You know, I know that I have a habit, like when I'm disappointed in somebody, that I get aggressive real fast. And I did that to somebody at the lagoon. We were going on, my little niece, Leah, wanted to go on the ride. And the guy that was running one of the rides was like, "Oh, I'm taking a break." I said, "How are you taking a break? We paid $100 to get in here to ride the rides. Shouldn't you be on our time? Like, what are you taking a break for? We spent money to come ride rides." And the way I approached him was aggressive, and he was just a young kid. I mean, the kids that work at the lagoon, and he was like, "Hey, hey, hey, I don't, I understand what you're saying," and you know, and when I seen him put his hands up, like he was like, "Hey, man, like, I don't want no trouble. I'm just taking a lunch break. I've been at this freaking ride for however many hours he was," and I caught myself. I like, "Wow, what are you doing, man? You're not in prison no more. You can't just be aggressive towards people, just at a drop of a hat." And I've done that a few times since I've been home, flash on people. And it's not good. It's not healthy. It's not something that I want to do, but it's just something that's been conditioning me for so long already that it's hard to turn it off, you know. Just, yeah. So, through the course of these programs and stuff, I'm just gonna share you with people, what people that's in my situation are adjusting to, you know. And I hope you guys enjoy this program, and I hope you guys get a better understanding of who we are, that we're human, that we're not just a statistic, that we're just not numbers, and that we're not just terrible people. Yeah, we made some bad choices and made some mistakes in our lives, but we're out here trying, and I'm out here trying. I'm not out here trying. I'm out here doing, and I'm gonna do it. And I hope you guys stay tuned for whatever else I got coming up. And I'm so grateful for all your love and your support. And if you guys have any questions about anything, feel free to ask me. Appreciate you. Thank you.